There is a question that people don't ask on price action, and that question is, if price dump within the week, that is, we see price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, any other coin begin to move all the way to the downside, that is a bearish movement, and then within the week that happened, what is going to happen during the weekend? That is what I'll be talking about in this video. Not only that, I sense that the altcoin index is really moving all the way to this very area, okay, approaching 60 over 100. Remember, I've been talking about 60, 70, and we're going to see that pump in the market. I'll be discussing all of these in this very video, so pay attention, watch the video all the way to the very end. The first thing here is, if the market move all the way to the downside during the week, what is going to happen during weekend? Let's look at different price analysis in this respect. So the first one here is the Bitcoin price action. Look at it. Market from Monday right here, market begin to come all the way to the downside, move a little bit upward. That was retracement, not aggressive move within this very region, okay? And then what happened again from this very point on Thursday, market begin to dump all the way to the downside into Friday. Now this is very important. You look at this very point that is forming right now. Do you think this market is going to come back down, okay, into the $104,000 for Bitcoin? I don't see that. It's a possibility, but right now, in the next 24 to 48 hours, what I am expecting is for the market to have capability of coming back down, okay, to grab liquidity from this very area, okay. Once we see that, market is going to begin to have correction. So what I am expecting in the next 24 to 48 hours is for this market to have correction, because markets have already moved downward during the week. In fact, that is what you should be always expecting if market has done aggressively during the week, including when the market retraces. Because if you look at it, the market moved down during the week, retraced during the week, come down again during the week, and right now weekend is already in. What do you expect? Don't expect crazy move all the way to the downside anymore, except a very serious unexpected fundamental data just come out, and then that is going to impact the market. Especially if it is a bearish data, then it's going to impact the market and the market is going to come back down. But in this very case, I am expecting that the market just come down a little bit, and then we should see good correction all the way to the upside on the price of Bitcoin. Of course, market is still going to come back down, but right now, in the next 24 to 48 hours, I am expecting market to correct between this price level of $109,000 and this price level right here of 106,500. Okay, 106,500. Within this very area, I'm expecting the market to do what? To retrace and then continuation back to the downside in the next 24 to 48 hours. Very, very important on the price of Bitcoin right now. Remember, this very area is very, very important. That is why key levels is critical for you to be in the right direction of the market. The same key level right where market move from, market is right there. What do you expect? Market have a high capability of coming down a little bit, collect liquidity, and then begin to move all the way to the upside in the next 24 to 48 hours. This is what you must have to pay attention to right now on the price of BTC USDT 4-hour chart. And if you look at the price of ETH here, is very, very critical right now for ETH, because the market have possibility of moving all the way to the downside. In fact, somebody chatted me a few minutes ago, what is my expectation on altcoin? Because for the past, let's say 6 hours ago, altcoin wasn't really dumping like Bitcoin was. And I said, after I begin to see Bitcoin have stability or move up a little bit, altcoin will begin to come back down. And that is what we're seeing right now. So Bitcoin is beginning to gain that stability. Altcoin is going to come back down a little bit before the retracement on altcoin. Now look at it right here. You see, market from this very point moved downward, okay? And this was during the week from here. This was Wednesday, okay? Wednesday during the week, market began to come all the way to the downside into Friday. So what do you expect during weekend? Of course, you should expect market retracing. And what I am expecting, since this is a very critical area, market touch this critical area right here on the price of ETH, market is going to come down a little bit, grab liquidity as well before the final move to the upside. That means in the next 24 to 48 hours, look at the market retracing, and that is very important. Now, not only that, if you look at this price action from the perspective of the fact that there is a divergence, look at it. I know this divergence will not last long in the market and need verification. However, if you connect this very point to this very area, okay, week to week, and then you connect this very area, the same point to this very area, you discover that the market on the indicator is sloping upward while this is coming back down on the price action. What that means is there is a divergence that is yet to be confirmed. And I think this market is going to retrace, okay, good retracement. And two confirmation that is necessary on this very price action is the fact that we need to see this very trend line break, okay, that means market need to move upward, and then we need to see this trend line break right here for this divergence to be true. That's number one confirmation. The second confirmation is we need to start seeing the MACD histogram start formation on the positive side of the MACD with green bars. These are the two things you should pay attention to for confirmation of this very divergence. However, I am expecting that the market retrace in the next 24 to 48 hours on this very price action, ETH/USDT 4-hour chart. If you look at Pi price action, it is covered that the price of Pi really moved all the way to the upside and broke out on this level of important resistance. Remember, in my last video, I was looking at the market coming back down, okay? But market moved upward. And after a breakout here, market began to move all the way to the upside. So what next for the price of Pi? I believe that since we're not seeing good rejection from this very area, okay, from this very point, then market have capability of moving up a little bit, okay? Of course, retracement is going to definitely come into the market, but from this very area, I'm still expecting market to move up a little bit, okay? Not a crazy move again, then it's going to begin to come back down for retracement because market has already moved all the way from here into this area. So even though the market move again to the upside, we should not be expecting a severe move upward, just a little move upward, and then market is going to begin to come back down for retracement on the price of Pi USDT 4-hour chart. This is very important. Pay attention to this on the price of Pi, especially if you are a pioneer or you are mining Pi. And on the price of Sol USDT 4-hour chart, if you look at it from this very standpoint, you discover that this very price action is coming back down as expected. I made mention of the fact that the market is going to come back down for retracement after this very move all the way to the upside, creating a new high, okay, higher than the previous high at this very point. What that also translates into is that the market is going to move upward after this retracement. So key areas to pay attention to on this very price action. Let me remove this first, okay? So the first point of interest that I see on this price action is this very area right here, okay? First point of interest, that is where the market touch. I am still expecting market to drop a little bit into this area. And then the second point of interest that is very, very close to price action is this very area. So these 2 points is where the market is going to retrace into, then continuation to the upside. So I expect the market to, from where it is right now, come back down into this area before the next move to the upside, or market break out on this very level of support, come back into this area before the next move to the upside. That is a possibility right now on this very price action. So once the market gets to this very point, first I want the market to really enter here and then collect liquidity, because there is liquidity below this very bullish candle right here, okay? This very bullish candle right here, there's a liquidity right at this point. So once liquidity is taken off the market, then market is going to move upward, okay? And the breakout here is going to make the market to come back into this very point of important support as well. So this is what you must have to pay attention to on Sol USDT 4-hour chart. Very important price action, because market is going to move upward either from here or from this very point in the next 24 and 48 hours. And if you look at the price of SUI, you discover that I was looking at liquidity grab on the price of SUI, and exact same thing has happened on the price of SUI around this very point. So liquidity collection happened from this very point. Okay, so what next? I am expecting the market to move upward on the price of SUI for a retracement. Look at what the market did in the past, because from then you can discover that the market is in a downtrend. Market has been moving all the way to the downside from this very point. So from here, market come back down, retracement, come back all the way to the downside, retracement, come back down, retrace, come back down, and then right now we are at this very point. So I want to see good correction, just like we are seeing at this point. Then this was not a good correction, although market correct for a number of time, and then we have a good correction right here. We have a good correction at this very point. So all good corrections in the market, we want to see the market correct as well around this very point. So correction from this very area to the upside is needed on the price of SUI. And the point I am expecting market to correct into is this very area of important resistance. So market should correct within this very price level of 3.21, okay, and where the price is right now of 3.30. From here, okay, correction into this very area of important resistance on the price of SUI. This is what you must have to pay attention to right now on this very price action, or keep your eye on this market moving upward for a retracement on the price of SUI right now. And if you come to coin market cap, look at the global crypto market capitalization have dropped significantly, no doubt, $3.77 trillion from 3.99 that we saw that was few days ago. And right now, if you look at the altcoin index, before now, the altcoin index was ranging between 30, 40, and 45, okay, within that very area. But you've seen this jump, okay, from this very region into 59 and even 60 over 100. Remember, what I am expecting is for this index to hit 60, 70, okay. Once that's happened, then it is the best time to buy your favorite altcoin, because the next pump is going to come in the market. And one thing very important is, remember, next week is September, okay. So September is a good month for crypto. November is a good month for crypto. So September, October, November, approaching the end of the year is always good for crypto. This is very important. And me seeing 59 over 100 here mean that the market is going to do something crazier, probably not a guarantee, in the next coming months. That is my personal opinion. I am looking at the market hitting 60, 65, and 70 for us to see good move in the market into the altcoin season. And of course, when market begin to enter into this very area, this is like a mini season. And when it come into this very zone is when the altcoin season really begin proper. So we're looking at between 80, 85. But once we hit 60, 70, then that good pump is going to begin to enter into the market, okay. And that is what I have been saying on this very price action. Between 60, 70 is a good thing for the market from the altcoin index. This is what you need to pay attention to right now, guys, because I believe personally that the move happening right now on price action, that is this correction we are seeing, is the last correction for the next leg of the markets, probably in this very year. If you've not joined our Telegram channel for signal update, on-chain and fundamental data, join right now, link in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment for prompt update and analysis. Consider supporting this channel by leaving a like for this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell notification for more crypto videos like this one. Also check the channel for all that crypto content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.